Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
I was originally planning on taking this week off and getting things set up for my new weekly release schedule. But then a couple of things happened that made me change my mind. There was the announcement that the Hatbox Ghost would be added to Florida's Haunted Mansion, and I wanted to make a video talking about that. But then there was another YouTuber who will remain nameless that made an entire video rambling about Season 2 of the Ghost and Molly McGee, and ultimately missed the entire point of the show. So naturally, I now have to do a whole bunch of extra work just to bring balance to the universe. Season 1 of the Ghost and Molly McGee was a really strong first season. Some minor issues with characterization in the pilot aside, this is a show that knew exactly what it was right from the get-go. It's silly and fun with a strong emotional core and very genuine relationships. And while the show is mostly episodic, there's still character development and story arcs, so you really do have to watch the show in order. The first season practically has 3 season finales, with Out of House and Home / Home is Where the Haunt Is being the conclusion to the McGee's financial struggles, as well as all the good they've done for Brighton. Scaring is Caring / All Night Plight being about the core friendships of the show, and The Jig is Up / Molly vs. the Ghost World being about the Ghost World. I maintain that if the show had just ended with Molly vs. the Ghost World, it would have been a satisfying finale. But Season 2 does what any good second season of a show should do and builds on what came before. The world is firmly established, so what kind of things can happen to change the status quo? Of course, the biggest development in Molly vs. the Ghost World that's immediately followed up on in Season 2 is that of the chairman. Molly defeated the old chairman, so who's going to lead the Ghost World now? Well, Scratch gets the job on a technicality, since Molly obviously can't lead the Ghost World, at least not without anyone knowing.
I see you're still struggling. What's the problem, Corn Cob?
And while most of the Ghost World is much happier living under Scratch's rule, since he doesn't make them do scare reports, the Ghost Council would obviously rather have someone else, but there just isn't anyone else. Well, there kind of is, but we'll come back to her. The most quote-unquote controversial element of Season 2 has been the McGee's new neighbors, the Chens. And it's really dumb that I have to say that this is controversial. Ruben, Esther, Ollie, and June are the new family who move in across the street from the McGees, and they immediately hit it off. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail on this one because I already made a whole video talking about why I think the hate for Ollie is really, really dumb. And I stand by that video wholeheartedly. We've gotten 2 more Ollie episodes in the 2 months since I made that video. Yeah, that's right, 2 segments out of 10 that have aired since I made that video. Ollie's essentially been in a little over 1 out of 3 episodes, which makes sense since he is a major new character, but the show's still not about him or his family either. They're just one set of characters we're following this season. And the episodes with him in them that have aired since I Want to Dance with Some Ollie haven't even focused on romance either, so complaining about it because of shipping is dumb.
Oh, you absolute dreamboat!
Okay, yes, we still get some cute moments with him and Molly, but like I said before, their relationship is already so much stronger because the 2 of them have gotten to know each other better, and Molly doesn't have to lie to him. Honestly, my main complaint with the Chens is that we still haven't gotten nearly enough of June yet. But of course, the Chen family isn't the only antagonistic force, there's also Jinx. She's definitely planning some kind of revenge, we just don't know what yet. So far, all of her revenge has been really, really petty, which is pretty great. She didn't tell Scratch the very obvious bit of context he was missing about Jeff and Jeff.
You knew and you didn't tell me?
That's for what you did to the chairman, the real chairman. Jinx it!
Wait a minute, why are Jeff and Jeff chummy with her? She threw Jeff into the flow of failed phantoms. And she put a jinx on him that basically turned him into Milo Murphy. Speaking of which, it took me way too long to realize that Liza Koshy also plays Veronica Hill on Hamster and Gretel.
The boulder came from the installation art piece, Clown Balancing Boulder While Eating Ham Sandwich. Once hailed as a brilliant satire on the complexities of modern life, the piece is now just another grim reminder that balancing a boulder is often fraught with peril. This strawberry sticker really complements my new plan for Ghost World domination. No, it makes sense. Strawberries are a terrible fruit. Seeds on the outside. Gross.
The arc with the most deeply personal stakes this season begins in the episode A Soda to Remember. And if you haven't seen the episode, you really should just pause the video and get caught up on the show. But basically, A casual discussion about smells being reminders of happy memories leads to an important question being raised. Who was Scratch before he was a ghost?
You never talk about your life before you were a ghost.
That's because I don't remember anything about my life before I was a ghost. Well, except for one thing.
Yes?
I distinctly remember I was going to take a nap. Good night!
Come on, Scratch. At least try to remember. You're my best friend. I want to know everything about you.
Fine. There was maybe this one thing. Surly Sid's strawberry soda.
Daryl procures the discontinued soda because he's Daryl, but then it gets confiscated by Principal O'Connor, leading to a delightfully goofy Ocean's 11 parody.
Who's in? Me. Me.
You guys sure about this?
And the episode ends with Scratch actually remembering something.
Let's make a promise. Every time we drink this soda, we'll think of each other. That way, I'll never forget you, and you'll never forget me.
Scratch suppresses this, because of course he does, and that eventually bubbles to the surface, literally, in the episode All in the Mind.
Is it gross? It's gross, isn't it?
No, it's, Okay, I want to soften this blow, but oh, it's very bad.
I'm not asking you, Molly. I'm asking her.
Yes, medically speaking, this is super gross.
In this episode, Molly and Scratch go on a surreal trip through Scratch's own subconscious to figure out what's wrong.
It's time to enter secret mode.
Ooh.
And after Scratch spends most of the episode hiding it, he opens up to Molly.
It scared me, so I just shoved it down as hard as I could. And the memories were supposed to go away, but I guess they just gotta bubble up to the surface in some kind of dumb metaphor.
Scratch, I think if you want to be bubble-free, you gotta face those memories.
And the two of them find the memory of him with Nadia.
Behold, the Eiffel Tower. On the starboard side, the Great Pyramids. And straight ahead, the tallest building in Chicago. Wow. I can't wait till we're old enough. We're gonna go to all these places. You and me. We'll mark every new place we visit with a sticker. Then one day, the whole map will be covered in stars.
Oh my god, is anyone else getting Carl and Ellie vibes? But then she moved away and he never saw her again. And of course, this recontextualizes several moments from season 1 to make them hit harder. Observe.
I like being alone. I like being by myself. I don't need anybody else.
I've left behind a lot of friends.
Truth is your truest friend. But sounds like this Molly character is a close second.
She is.
Libby was right. People grow up, move away. Who knows where we'll be in 50 years? I thought if I could make tonight a perfect memory, when the comet comes around again, we could look up and remember each other.
I'm not even turning the heat off. Gonna keep the house nice and warm for you.
Thanks, Scratch. Love you.
Love you too, Mal.
Let's make a promise. Every time we drink this soda, we'll think of each other. That way, I'll never forget you, and you'll never forget me.
I'm sorry, Scratch. I know how hard it is when friends move away. But I want you to know I'm here for you. Hey, Scratch? I've been thinking, we left the house, so the curse is broken, isn't it? Which means you're not stuck with me anymore?
What? Where'd you get that idea? That's not how it works. I'll prove it. Say Scratch.
Scratch.
Whoa, I can't stop myself. See? Here you go. I'm not going anywhere.
There's also a great episode centered around Libby and her mom going to meet up with her dad for the first time in years. Just based on the package being the slowest of slow snail mail, and that the stuffed animal was a $1 frog plush, you could probably already guess how this was gonna work out. Libby's mom even warns her about not setting her expectations too high.
I didn't realize how much this meant to you.
Yeah, I guess I didn't either.
I love seeing you so excited, but just be careful with your expectations, okay?
And sure enough, he lets her down. He's not unpleasant to her, but it's immediately clear to Libby that Her dad just doesn't have an interest in actually being a part of her life.
We can finally spend some real time together. What are we gonna do first? There's a sled with your name on it.
Oh, kiddo. You know, I'd love to, but the publisher is super excited about the book. We are thinking it's gonna be a trilogy. So, I'm gonna be busy for a while. You know, we have to work on developing a direction for the series, and then I have to travel for research again, and I have to worry about tours and signings, and maybe some...
But thankfully, she's got an amazing mom to lean on.
You okay, Turtle Dove? Chasing miracles. He's a fool. He's been out there chasing miracles, but he can't even see that he had the greatest one of all right in front of him. You.
Mom, thanks for always being here. And now, I must ask you to give me a hug.
And last but not least, I want to talk about the Andrea/Bismarck arc. I'm actually going to hold off and talk more about the episode Davenport's in Distress a little later on. But in addition to having Andrea's friendship with Molly and Libby continue to grow, at the end of Davenport's On Demand, the impending threat of Bismarck invading Brighton was teased.
Brighton looks like a promising location for our next megastore.
Honestly, until we got more information about the episode, this was the part of the season that I was probably least interested in, just because in comparison to the Chens and Jinx, the CEO of some Walmart-like company seems like a pretty bland antagonist. Which is why I'm glad that Bismarck moving in is much more of a catalyst for Andrea's personal character growth and discovery than anything else. That's really at the core of what makes this show so amazing. This isn't Gravity Falls, or The Owl House, or Amphibia. There's not insane world-ending stakes. There's not huge mysteries, because that's not the point. It's a slice of life show, and pretty much everything that happens is done in service of the characters, their relationships, their growth. It's a show that's silly and fun and lighthearted, but it's still so real, because so much of the show comes from real life experiences. It's a show that's built on kindness and empathy, and we're able to get so much closer to these characters as a result.
Thanks for pushing me to face my past, Mal. I'd hate to not remember you.
Same here, buddy. Quick question though. What was the deal with the monkey in the suit?
Who can fathom the mysteries of my mind? Let's get some tacos.
The Ghost and Molly McGee!